Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher. I'm continuing with my mixed media vessel. This is my second one. I'm encountering a different set of issues than the first one. For those of you who have been following, this is a series. I've been putting it in the same playlist as Mixed Media Vessel. It's another. You can see that the first vessel, I had the issue of having this idea of a shape that then really didn't translate in the way that I was working. This time I got the shape, but it went way out, and now I'm having to really pull it in, and that's requiring quite a bit more gathering and darts and things like that than I would have liked. So it occurs to me that, well, in the video, you'll hear me coming up with some other solutions, which I think on the third vessel, third's the charm, perhaps that will solve some of these various problems that I'm having. Not to be deterred, however, I am continuing along. It'll be what it's going to be, right? I'm letting go of this idea of what the shape was supposed to be, and I'm going to let it be whatever it's going to end up being. Maybe it's going to be closer to that sort of rounded shape that I was hoping for. Hard to say. In any way, it's going to be interesting, if nothing else. I also, in this video, talk very briefly about some different habits that I am developing, have continued to develop, in relation to having things go a little wonky or having things go differently than I had hoped for, and different things that I am doing and saying to myself in order to not get discouraged. So I'm going to turn you around and we're going to continue on this little soft sculpture journey of mine and see what happens. More will be revealed. So this is my African cloth, and I did a Palestrina knot, and I couldn't remember how to do a Palestrina knot, so I actually had to go to my video and watch because I haven't done, any. There's some stitches that I'll always remember, like bouillons, bouillon tendrils, bouillon circles, bouillon, the cast on, all of that I'm going to remember. But some of these stitches, like the Palestrina, which was always so hard for me to learn when there weren't videos for left-handed people, which is one of, the whole reason I started this channel. Learning how to do Palestrina left-handed was such a game changer, and it's such a great stitch. It's got like texture to it. It's like bold print, Anyway, so I'm doing Palestrina knots going up the white portion of this, and I'm doing little 2 wrap French knots. And you see how there's like a little jag here? So I'm doing like a 4 wrap French knot on the jag. And I am using a number 18 chenille with the Thread Gatherer's Aurora Old Lace. I like the Golden Eye chenilles. I feel like they're a little bit sharper. Although this one's not that sharp. I'm not sure why. When they get really dull, I throw them away. Because needles do, they get bent, they get dull. Toss them. the things I was wondering from all of you is, do you prefer seeing just a straight up process video, or do you like having, the self-love challenge thrown at you, or other stuff that I've been doing to make my creative practice, my art, a more enjoyable and freeing experience? I went from fearful creating to fearless creating, and it's been such a game changer for me, but maybe that's not interesting to other people. I don't know. So tell me in the comments. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. 4. I saw this amazing show. I'll post some photos. In the, my husband and I do like a gallery walk, probably once a week or so, and because we're right in the heart of the art galleries in Chelsea, in New York City, and so we do that a lot. I actually prefer it to going to the big museums at this point, because I just love seeing what people are doing now, rather than, and I grew up with those museums, but like the Met and MoMA and Palestrina Knot goes pretty quickly once you get the hang of it. I did when I first started doing what I called improvisational stitching, which is, it was more stitch oriented than this mixed media that I'm now doing. But I can't remember, maybe it was the second piece or third piece I did. Anyway, it was this big piece, and I had done this challenge for myself that just grabbed the first piece of linen that you've got, and it was this kind of flesh colored, and I kind of regretted it afterwards. It was challenging, but anyway, I sort of worked through and I felt like I kind of triumphed. But I did a whole series of rows and rows of Palestrina knots, and they were pretty cool. I'll show a photo as I'm talking of the piece. It was fun. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna end that. Go back and do my little 2-wrap French knots for the little jutted out points here. Well, that was supposed to be a 4-wrap. I just did 2. That's okay, I did it really loose. I also, if you'll notice, am not changing my needle. And that's because when I'm doing this kind of work, I don't need it to be this neat, beautiful little tight French knot. It can be kind of loose and just out there. Okay, so now I'm thinking I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Maybe I just do runnings. Maybe I do a back stitch. I'm not in the right position to do a back stitch. I'm making it work. Let's see, I've got The whole thing about a back stitch is you got to start with it in front so that you're going in back. Otherwise it gets really flat looking. That's how you get that kind of poofy. Otherwise it can be pretty flat. Let's see what happened. All right, so I'll just keep doing that. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to do the back stitch on these. And then I'll do the Palestrina knot and the French knots on this and here. I'm dealing with a issue of this being much, much wider, longer in length than the bottom, and I need to pull it in. So I'm doing a series of darts. We'll see how this works. I don't know. I mean, this is, you know, an engineering issue, and I'm not an engineer. I probably should have mapped it out. But I love doing the kind of improvisational way of working. I don't really like having to, you know, think about that. But if I want this shape, I think you know, the next one, it's going to have to be mapped out. So live and learn. Maybe not. Maybe this will be fabulous. I don't know. It's looking a little, I think this one got away from me. We'll see what happens. All right, I find this a little bit daunting, I have to say, but I'm gonna just, you know, so what do I do when I'm daunted by this? So in the past, feeling a little like overwhelmed at the enormity of the task at hand, I often would go into self-recrimination. I should have done a sketch. I should have known better. I should have mapped this out. You can't just wing it the way you're doing. This is like crazy. What were you thinking? All of that kind of thing would have come into play. But I have been building different habits, and I don't do that now. So what I do now is I say, it's going to be okay. You're going to figure this out. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. You're going to take the next right action, which is to take next baby step. What is the next baby step? The next baby step is to do this. That's what I'm going to do. I am going to stitch this down. Another thing is to admire other things that I have done, such as this whole bit. So I did Palestrina knots, I did French knots, I did back stitch, I did, let's see, what else did I do? I did a big fly stitch here, had fun with this. This was a lot of fun. And I pieced this stuff together, and I like the way it's looking. And now I'm going to do this, because this is the next step. I want to push that down. So I'm just going to keep going here. Push that down. keep going. So the next vessel, should I choose to take on a third vessel? We'll see. I haven't even finished this one, but maybe I'll do a third vessel. Who knows? I think I might do a kind of pattern, like a paper pattern, so that I have a kind of, I could make it in like a muslin like I used to do for fashion, stitch it together, and then do a kind of a mock-up to see. And that way I would have a better guide. And I think I hate not being able to just wing it, but the problem with just winging it is what I'm faced with now, which is this massive top that's way, way too big, and feeling like I'm having trouble reining it in. Now, another thing I can do to sort of mitigate how much I'm reining in here is to do more stitching, more darts down here. And I think actually I'm going to do that. So, yeah, I think I will. But that's what I'm up to. This is kind of how I feel, a jumbled mess. Okay, so I did put the sides together, and I don't know, it's gonna work, I think. I've got a lot of patching here to do, so I'm going to actually start. Let's see, I've got something down here I need to do, so I'm going to do that. Start with what's easy, right? I've got a hole here, I'm going to work with that. Running stitch, nothing that, nothing too crazy. I'll come back and show when I'm doing something a little more interesting than a running stitch. This is the final challenge. So I'm going to, where all these pins are, it's where I'm stitching things down, and I've measured this edge with the other edge, and it works. So yeah, this is the final bit, and after that I'm going to kind of fine-tune everything, make sure I have everything that I want on here. And then I'm going to do a lining, and which will be challenging, and then sew those side seams up, get my wire, and start doing the wire process. I have some cool wire that I found at it's an Australian company called, starts with an O. What's it called? Let's see. Can't remember. Oh, I know, it's this one. It's called Ora Fibres. It's all from recycled product. This is recycled wool and silk. It's woven. I have a couple of these. I got this one, recycled linen, which is kind of cool. It's like a well, it's like that. But I also got this, and I got this. This is banana silk. It's really soft. I thought I'd use this on my big black abstract piece. And then I got a whole bunch of different fibers like this. It's this is silk, but I also got some it's like raffia. I don't know. I'll show it later. Anyway, so this I could put probably on the outside, and it could be kind of cool in places. That was my thinking. And then I'm going to do, I think, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, that's where I am. That's where I'm at.
Loki. Oh, there's the kitty. There's the kitty. What you doing in there? Those are recycle bags. They go down in the basement. Are we gonna put you in the basement? No.